Now, your 13 First Alert weather forecast.
Temperatures this morning were pretty close to the dew points, which over the last few mornings have mostly been hanging out in the lower 60s. Pretty much been a rinse and repeat over the last few days as to where we started out. We have high pressure that's influencing our pattern, so we've had that mainly clear sky, and since it was pretty much overhead through the overnight, that's what allowed our temperatures to fall to the dew point. We had those calm winds, but now as that high slides a little further towards the east, those winds will respond by picking up more out of the south and bringing in a little bit more of that heat and humidity. So this, at least over the next couple of days, likely one of the last days that we'll see the 50s for our overnight lows. We'll likely see more of the 60s for our next couple of nights. Now for today, an abundance of sunshine hangs around as we have still the influence of that high, but we do get the increase in that heat and humidity. But that comes into play for tomorrow as we do have those chances, increasing chances at that, of some storms that may be on the strong to severe side with all severe threats in play. It'll have a little bit more on that in just a bit, but we continue to heat things up too. Now, of course, yesterday, today, expect to get in the upper 80s, but for this weekend, we have a couple chances at hitting that 90-degree mark for the first time in Eau Claire this year. This afternoon, mostly staying in the mid to upper 80s again, but that wind light out of the south. It'll be enough to bring in a little bit more of that low-level moisture, but will be a few degrees above average, which for reference this time of year is 83 degrees in Eau Claire. Now, as far as the humidity is concerned, getting into that sticky category, that's where we're talking about mid-60s, maybe even some upper 60s. Tomorrow, Sunday, feeling just downright tropical and gross, if you will, and that's where those dew points approach the 70s. Low-level moisture being one of the ingredients that we would need as far as a severe weather threat. So again, keep that in mind and make sure to stay weather aware going into tomorrow afternoon and evening, especially if you do have plans to head to the Northern Wisconsin State Fair tomorrow evening. Now a look at Skycast showing that we'll have that abundance of sunshine for today, but you get that clockwise and outward rotation with a center of high pressure, and that's where we're seeing as we're on the backside. Of course, winds mostly out of the south. We'll have a couple passing clouds through the afternoon, but tonight staying mostly clear as well and a pretty light wind through the overnight. Tomorrow morning starting off with a little bit of sunshine, but we do have a few clouds that may move in. And then we're tracking that next wave of showers and storms moving through tomorrow evening that could carry some heavier rates of rainfall, some large hail, damaging winds, and of course the potential for an isolated tornado. So again, it does go without saying to make sure to stay weather aware going into tomorrow. Otherwise, then things wrap up, and for Sunday, we'll start off with some sunshine as well, but that also carries another low-end severe risk going into Sunday afternoon and into the evening. Now, as far as that severe risk for tomorrow, these areas you see in yellow, that's under that level 2 risk for most of northwestern Wisconsin, and the rest of the Badger State under that level 1 risk as well. For today, highs mostly in the upper 80s, so a few degrees above average before later on tonight falling mostly to the mid-60s for our overnight lows. Next couple of days, we continue to heat up in the Coulee region with highs approaching the mid-90s. Could even feel like it's in the triple digits this weekend before another round of storms on Monday cools us off to the upper 70s and low 80s by the middle of next week. Now for a Sunshine Award, Nancy Thompson would like to nominate Dove Healthcare of Osseo and says, "They are all so wonderful to me and take great care of me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart." Now if you'd like to nominate someone, send us an email or head over to our website at weau.com.